Today I'm gonna share 5 things that I did to help me reach my first 500 subscribers here on YouTube. What's up everybody, and welcome back to Bricanics. My name is Andy, and that's right, today I'm gonna share 5 things that I did to help me reach my first 500 subscribers here on YouTube as a Lego YouTuber. You know, they're just 5 things that I believe helped me, that I thought I could share with you, that if you're, new to YouTube or getting into, YouTube as a Lego YouTuber, might help you as well. So let's get into those 5 tips. All right, so number 1, you might think to be a bit generic, but I have to tell you, it might just be the most important. And it's 2 things really combined together into one. And that's getting started and staying consistent. And, I see it all the time, not just with YouTube, but just projects or careers or anything really, is people procrastinate. And they're always waiting for that perfect time to get started. And there's just not a perfect time. And there really is, no better time than now, as the cliche would say. When I started this channel with my son, we did so from my kitchen table. And I knew that the videos didn't look that great. Like, one thing is when somebody turns on your video, they want to make sure that you fit the part, and they can quickly make a judgment of your video and of your channel based on your setting or surrounding. And being at the kitchen table, I think I had like a living room like lamp behind me. I know I did. And a mirror. It just wasn't the perfect setting, but I didn't care, because I knew that whatever progress I made was gonna put me that much further ahead of the game when I got, here to this room, or, to whatever that next step was, to where I felt I was ready to go with the channel. So I could have waited until the perfect time. I could have waited until I moved and got into this room here, but I wouldn't have had like the 300 or so subscribers that I had when I finally got into this room. I wouldn't have learned all the things I learned about, making videos. I wouldn't have gotten better at editing. I wouldn't have found, more of my niche or more of my style of creating videos. And all those things kind of worked themselves out as I got started and made videos and kind of got ahead of the game in that way. So if you're thinking about starting a Lego YouTube channel or a YouTube channel in general, and you haven't gotten started because you're waiting for that perfect moment, I would say just get started. It doesn't matter what your equipment is, it doesn't matter what your setting is, just be passionate, do what you want to do, and start making content, and then you can evolve and your channel can evolve. And those followers that you get, the subscribers that you get, early, they're gonna be with you, right? Because you're gonna develop some good relationships. So I would say, number 1, getting started is important. And then the second part to that is being consistent and staying consistent. And that's for a lot of reasons. I mean, one is you want to stay in front of your audience, right? You want to continue to put content out there. It's going to help you get better as a creator. It's going to keep you fresh. It's going to keep you relevant, with the people who do subscribe to your channel. And also it sends a really good signal to YouTube in general, because YouTube needs to build trust factors, credibility with your channel. So the more content that you put out, the more consistent YouTube sees your channel being, the more kind of closely related your channel is, like the more YouTube can figure out what your channel is about. All these things go in together, and at one point YouTube is going to be like, okay, we know who you are as a channel, and we're going to start suggesting you to other people on YouTube. So it's really important to stay consistent for those reasons. So that's number 1, get started and stay consistent. All right, so number 2 is to develop community and get engaged with that community. For me, it was getting engaged and involved with the Lego community. And, at first you don't really know where you fit in. You don't know who your people are within the Lego community. So it's a lot of just putting yourself out there and, developing relationships with people in the community, as far as finding other Lego YouTubers or other YouTubers that you relate with, that you enjoy their content, and just commenting on their videos and developing relationships with them as YouTubers, but also even the people in the comments, and the more you kind of put yourself out there, the more you're seen, the more you start building up, credibility and recognition within the Lego community itself. It also starts with, the people that come onto your videos and place a comment on your video. You really should be trying to reply to every single comment, and not just generically, right? Try to be as genuine as possible and get involved in conversations in your comments. It's good for a few reasons. One is that engagement is good for YouTube to see on your videos, right? It's also helping you build and share in community with the people who come to your channel, and that conversation that you're having is placing more comments onto the video itself. So just get involved, get engaged, talk to people. It's all about people. Like, no matter what you do in life, you'll find that a lot of your success comes from the relationships that you create with people. You know what they say, right? It's all in who you know. Well, it's kind of true. So you can't do that without developing relationships and getting engaged. So get engaged with the people who come to your channel and comment. Make sure that you're replying back and getting into conversations and developing friendships with those people, as well as going on to other YouTubers' channels and developing relationships with them by commenting on their videos. And then I would say even branch out to social media. Instagram is a really awesome place for developing community, better than YouTube really for community. So I would say get involved in Instagram. The Lego community on Instagram is awesome. Twitter, not so much for me at least, and Facebook, not so much. Maybe TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok. But I would say Instagram is also a great place to get involved and to get engaged with the Lego community and develop relationships. I'll tell you that is really one of the things that helped this channel big as well. So I had started making some friendships with, like Coconut Brick Studios and SW Bricks and Figs. I was commenting on their videos. They were seeing some of my content, and we just started developing kind of like this familiarity, is what I'll call it. They became familiar with me, I was familiar with them. We're commenting on the same types of videos. I'm commenting on their videos because I'm learning from them, right? And I appreciate them as people and the content that they make. And so I just reached out to them and say, hey, would you guys mind being guest judges on this mock contest that I want to do? And they agreed because we had developed a good relationship and it was all built on a good, genuine foundation. They don't agree to do that if you're just anybody, right? So you have to put the work in, you have to be genuine, and you have to develop relationships. So those things can happen for you if you put yourself out there and start getting involved in the Lego community in general. Be genuine. Don't be artificial about it. Don't do it for the mentions. Don't do it for the subscribers or for the views or for whatever. Do it because you're passionate about your hobby and what you're doing, and because you're genuinely interested in other people and you want to develop and create relationships. If you can do that, those other things will come along with it. So that's number 2, develop community, get engaged with the community. Number 3 is to know your audience and to speak with it. And I could also say that means like finding your identity as a channel or what your niche is. That's kind of important because you want to develop, an audience based on what the channel is about. And if your channel is about a bunch of different things or there's no cohesion between your videos, then it's hard for, subscribers or viewers to understand what your channel is about, so they don't know if they should follow it or not because they don't know what to expect. But it's also hard for YouTube to understand what your channel is about as well when you're all over the place. So I would say you might not find out what your identity is, or you might not know your niche or who your audience is within your first 500 subscribers, but you definitely should be working towards it, and you'll just find that you naturally start to gravitate and work towards it. For me on this channel, I started out with, making a lot of videos with my son, and the channel really was, my intentions were for the channel to be a father and son channel. And, we were going to be making videos, building sets, doing that kind of stuff. And we still do a lot of that together. And Mason's still, Mason is my son's name. He's still a part of the channel, but I've evolved and adapted into something else because I started to figure out what, my passions and directions were for the channel and who the audience was. So when we first started out, it was the audience was people who are interested in father and son. But we also, we're about Lego. So that's kind of, obviously the channel was about Lego. So now we have people who are interested in Lego and people who enjoy father and son duos. And then we kind of narrowed it down even farther to where we were making videos about Marvel, City, and Star Wars with a heavy focus, on Star Wars versus the other two. So now we have, people who are into Lego, people who like father and son duos, and people who like Star Wars is the audience. And now as this channel has kind of evolved into, maybe it was like 100% of the time me and Mason, my son, in a video. Now maybe it's like 70-30 or 80-20, to where 70%, 80% just me, and then I get Mason in when I can based on our filming, and building schedule. But it was easy for people to continue watching the channel because it's still Star Wars, it's still Lego, right? So people are still interested in those things. So I believe that, that's why you are still interested in the channel, and I appreciate that, by the way. So thank you for sticking with us as we've evolved here. But that's what I would say, find your audience, understand what your channel is about, and start getting some cohesion with the videos that you're making, and then, direction as to what you want your channel to be about, and then speak to that audience with your content and what you're creating, and then keep it consistent. That's number 3. Number 4 is to deliver value to your audience. So now that you've gotten started and you're being consistent with your content creation, you've gotten into the community and you're engaged and you started to understand who your audience is and you're speaking to them, now you want to start delivering value to that audience. Now, there's a lot of different reasons why people come to YouTube, right? They come to be entertained, they come to learn something, to be informed, a lot of different reasons, right? So even within the Lego community and the Lego genre here on YouTube, you have set reviews, you have mock building, you have shopping vlogs, you have news and leaks. So there's a lot of different directions you can go within the Lego genre itself. So what I would say though is no matter which way you see your channel evolving as far as what content you like to make, as far as your identity and who your audience is, you want to deliver the value to that audience. So if you're about news, make sure you have good and on-time news. That's the value that you deliver. If it's leaks, make sure you have good, relevant, leaks from good sources, and you're sharing those. If it's mock building, obviously people want to see the content that you're making as far as the creations that you're making, but also maybe you're sharing some of the how-tos within the mock building as well, which can be the value received. If it's set reviews, the value is, helping them make a buying decision before they go out and spend their money on Lego. Or it's, educating them on the set as far as, the history of the set and the minifigures and what's exclusive and not exclusive. So whatever it is, just figure out what kind of value you can bring to your audience, because that's really important. It's called, what's in it for me, right? So your audience also has an element of, hey, I'm coming to your channel, right? But what's in it for me for coming to your channel and watching your videos? So make sure you're delivering value to your audience and that you're always giving something of value to your audience within your content. All right, we're at number 5, and this is a big one. I mean, this could probably be a video on its own, but it's to market yourself. Learn how to market yourself and then to do more of that. So, you know, it really comes down to developing a brand, right? So you and your channel, it's a brand. So that comes down to what's the name of your channel, what's the logo, what's the imagery you're creating, you know, keeping that consistent across all your social media. So it comes down to getting a name that is unique to you, that you can have on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those different, you know, social media platforms, and then developing, you know, consistency as far as, you know, what are like the color scheme and the art that you're using across all these different channels, so that you're starting to develop a brand for yourself. And then it comes down to how are you making all this work together. So for instance, I make YouTube. YouTube is my primary social channel, but I have Instagram as well. And I actually have more followers on Instagram, a lot more. I think I'm like 1,700 followers on Instagram versus almost 700 subscribers here on YouTube. But YouTube is my main source of content creation. And I use what I create on YouTube to share on Instagram to help grow Instagram. And then what I'm doing on Instagram is creating content on Instagram that helps my followers on Instagram find my YouTube channel. So I want to make sure that what I'm sharing on Instagram is directing Instagram followers to YouTube, because if they're interested in the content I'm making on Instagram, they're probably going to be interested in the stuff I'm making on YouTube as well. So I want to make it easy for them to follow or to find that content by, you know, Instagram stories, by you know, mentioning it in the videos, by putting links in my bio. So marketing yourself across all the social channels and figuring out how to get them to all work together and to direct those eyes to where you would like them to go is kind of important, I guess you would say. So if it's YouTube, then you want to make sure that everything you're putting out there as far as, you know, your marketing and your social platforms is pointing back to YouTube. And another thing you can do as well is you can get yourself a website. You know, Squarespace is pretty easy. I think it's like $13 or $15 a month. Don't quote me on the price. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, by Squarespace. Obviously not yet, but you know, get yourself a website, and that's also another way you can kind of create a hub for your content, and then just another way you can direct, you know, eyes and people around to make it easy for them to find your content and what they're interested in, right? Because if they're subbing to your channel, if they're watching your videos, if they're following on Instagram, they're interested in the content that you're creating, they like the content you're creating, so you want to make more of that content, and you want to make it easy for them to find it through the way that you share it on social. So yeah, you got to become a little bit of a marketing guru, a self-promoter, to get your name out there and to get your content out there. So that becomes kind of the third leg to this whole thing. It's the content, right? That's the first and most important. What you're actually doing, as far as, you know, for Lego, it's the Lego that you're building or the sets that you're reviewing. It comes down to the other leg, which is the editing, right? The video that you're making. That has to be entertaining. You have to learn how to do that well with the Lego that you're making, to do that well. And then the third leg is marketing yourself and being able to market the Lego that you're building or reviewing, the video that you created, and getting that all to work. So yep, creating content, learning how to edit and make good videos, and then learning how to market yourself. All that would be number 5. All right, I know I started rambling there a little bit, and I tend to do that, when I'm speaking. I'm passionate about this. This is kind of my world as far as, sales and marketing. So I hope that I was able to share something that helps you. If you're starting a channel, to get to your first 500 subscribers, even if you have more than 500 subscribers, maybe I shared something that helps you get to your first 1,000. I hope it helps me get to my first 1,000. Speaking of which, if you're not subscribed to this channel and you're interested in more content like this, or you're interested in Lego custom creations or Lego Star Wars, make sure to sub to this channel. Hit the like button. It might help somebody else find this video who could use a few pointers on how to get to their first 500 subscribers. You know what? Heck, why don't you just go ahead and share this link on your social media? I mean, why not, right? It's going to help somebody, hopefully. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you who are still here watching to the end. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone who subscribed to the channel. And if you're starting a channel, good luck to you. I wish you all the best. And yeah, join a community and throw a comment down below. I'd like to talk to you. Have a great day.